welcome back. So we are kind of nearing the end of these whole faction focuses, which is a good sign for the fact that soon we shall just have everything and be able to play the new edition, which is kind of the main thing for me that I want to do now. Not necessarily because of the faction focuses so much, but obviously that is kind of the small little piecemeal hype that GW are doing to kind of entice people into wanting to playing, you know, seeing a little bit behind the curtain but not everything. So hopefully we'll have a bit more soon, but again, the Thousand Suns 3-1 detachment point detachments, and kind of just gives us a bit of an idea as to things that we can add and kind of ways in which they interact. It is focused on several elements, which is good, and I'm just going to get up the profile of a model because I don't actually know what the profile is, because it's one of the newer ones and no one ever really takes it, so I've never learnt it. So with this detachment, we have the Sorceress Invigoration. Once per turn, when a friendly Thousand Sun Psyker, not monsters, no healing Magnus, successfully manifests a ritual, they heal D3 wounds. And again, this is like something in the back of my head, I can't remember, but I think if a unit heals, it almost works similar to regeneration with the Necron, so it actually brings back models now. Maybe. I don't quote me on that, but that feels like a thing. But the fact that you can, you know, heal back up units, especially after they've kind of maybe failed a ritual, hurt themselves, taken a bit of damage, is really good. You then have Eruption of Vitality as an enhancement, infantry or mounted Thousand Sun Psyker. Basically, you get back up on a 2-up, so you can kind of create a pseudo Way Leaper, but without the lone up. So it might be quite good on the kind of Sorcerer on Disc or other similar kind of ones where they can maybe run a little bit more dangerously solo, get close, pull off a couple of rituals and then reappear, and they come back with 3 wounds. So yeah, it's a solid enhancement, can't really argue with that one. Mutagenic Magics basically gives you a combat grenade. One friendly engaged Thousand Sun Psyche unit, which does not stop you using it on Magnus, annoyingly. Start the fight phase, so either fight phase, either Magnus charges or you get charged. You roll 6d6 for each 4-up that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. Up to 6, because you can't roll more than that. So yeah, it's a in combat grenade, which is a really quite solid stratagem. Makes charging a fake risk, or particularly for units such as like Drakari, where most of their stuff is 1 wound and they charge in and then you roll 6 4s and there's just a succubus left looking confused, is going to be quite frustrating, I imagine. But into things like Terminators, particularly Dark Angels or things like that, where they have a once per game feel no pain, is going to be less impactful. But you across the battle rounds, you have the potential to do 12 mortal wounds in combat. I think defensively is probably the best one, but it could also be that you kind of pair it with the new Tank Shock with Magnus, so you can do both, because you charge in, you do the Tank Shock, whatever the new one's called, he takes a mortal wound, because that's the new way it works. You do up to 6 mortal wounds, start of the fight phase, you then do another, and then he's out of combat. Can't pile in, but might allow another unit that's charged in to do their overrun, guaranteed, or help you to take down something that is significantly stronger than they would otherwise kind of reliably be able to kill. So it might allow you to spike up a little bit with some of the Rubric Marines, who aren't exactly combat focused, but does give them a effective pseudo bit of durability, especially into units where it's 2 or 3 wound models or 1 wound models. You can kill up to 6 1 wound, 3 2 wound, and yeah, which, you know, a unit of Space Marines, that's most of the unit, if you roll really well. Or if you're like me, you might do 1 mortal wound every blue moon. We then have the one that is focused on the Secator robots, the Secator Cohort. This is the unit I said I had to grab my phone for, because I genuinely have no idea what the profile is for this model. So they gain psychic on their attacks, not the psychic keyword, just the psychic on their attacks. And then friendly Thousand Sun Psycho units have the ability to give +1 weapon skill as an aura to the Sekitar robots, which is pretty solid. Advantage again of psychic, you ignore hit modifiers, so means they will ignore cover, which is really solid. Again, I don't know if this makes them worth taking. Again, will come down to how many points things are, but I think the missile rack, ignoring hidden, so it hits on base 4s, is pretty solid. In melee, I don't even know what their profile is. Their power claw, yeah. I don't really don't know which is better, the melter gun or the power claw. Probably the power claw if they're getting +1 weapon skill, just with the multiple attacks, and the melt gun's only kind of 1, and then you have a flamer and a power claw. Yeah, that seems relatively solid alongside the, I assume they have the missile racks. Yeah, so yeah, maybe that, I don't know. And then you have the enhancement you can give to a sorcerer or exalted sorcerer up to 3 times. You can give +1 ballistic skill to a unit within 6. Yeah, again, depends on how cheap it is. Makes them better, so if you like your Sekitar robots, does make them more effective. I don't know whether teching into it is particularly useful. It depends on how much it combos with other things, I guess. And how much other detachments cost. We then have warp fields for 1 CP. Basically gives you pseudo transhuman of strength higher than toughness, -1 to wound, on the Sekitar robots only, which is a useful stratagem. They are only T6, so does mean a lot of stuff then kind of autocannons, etc. upwards kind of get worse against them. And then finally we have the one all focused on the Zangors, the Servants of Change. So it allows all Zangor units to have battle line, and gives it's another of the detection range detachments. They, in the shooting phase, a friendly mutant unit is shooting, it has +6 detection range. So for the Mutalithtic Vortex Beasts and the Fake Caster Great Bow Zangors, means that they can shoot from slightly further away, 21 inches rather than 15, to kind of ignore hidden. Can't take it with other mutant detachments. Not sure what will have a mutant tag, but yeah, I'm assuming if there is a Zangor detachment, that will probably be the one. You can then give Chaos Spawn an upgrade of Thicket of Bone. You can do it multiple times. Give them +1 AP, and Cleave kind of feels pretty good as an upgrade. Again, points depending. So they are D6 +2, Strength 5, AP 1, Damage 2. So it would be AP 2 and then have Cleave 1. So you know you then become D6 plus up to 6. As I don't think there's a unit over 25 that exists. So means that yeah, if you've got 2 of them, it's pretty big. 2d6 +12. AP2 really good for clearing horde screens and things like that. Then you have the ability of the stratagem, 1 CP. Infantry or mounted mutant is selected to advance or fall back. They gain assault, and it doesn't stop them from being allowed to shoot or charge. Kind of weird that they... so I suppose eligible to shoot allows them to maybe throw grenades still and do actions, potentially. Would need clarification on that one. It's a bit of a random one. But fallback as well means that they can fall back and shoot. There you go, that's why. The fallback part, missed that. So yeah, fall back and shoot, advance and shoot, and advance and charge, and fall back and charge is really solid. Again, not sure on what you're going to be using it on aside from the spawn. I don't think you're going to be wanting to maybe use it on basic Zangors, but you might use it on the Enlightened for the shooting. But yeah, it's a nice little addition if you've got the detachment point and you're taking some Zangors anyway. Overall, it's okay. They kind of say that it's going to make the Sector robots really great in Grand Coven. It does allow them to do the reroll hits and that sort of thing, and a few other bits. I don't really play against Thousand Suns very often, but yeah, they're okay. I don't think they're overly amazing, as the same as most of the other one detachment points ones. I'm sure there will be something crazy and broken, but overall kind of they seem good. They add something extra for units that aren't necessarily taken as much, or are mostly just as chaff in terms of the Zangors, and the Sector you just never see. But yeah, that's kind of nearly, we're at the end of it now. The next one is GSC on Monday, so that'll be interesting to see what they get in theirs. And yep, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for checking out, and